Hey everybody, it's me, Cameron, aka Camflict. I'm here, I'm accounted for, I'm paid for, in full. Great shot, Mark. Good stuff.
Welcome to the Mark Boudelier Show, where we show Johns and sometimes drip. Drip or drown, baby. Drip.
Hey everybody, and welcome back to the channel. It is I, Mark Boudelier, and today we have quite a good one for you. We have an underrated brand video, or brands that you should know about. I'm going to be showing you guys some brands that I've been messing with lately, some ones that have sort of been on my radar that you may or may not have already heard about, and if you do know them, maybe you just don't know a whole lot about them, or maybe you'll just watch it anyways and act like you do and just appreciate this content that I'm putting out for you. I apologize for my streakiness with YouTube. I am trying to get it together and get back to the weekly video format. I've been slacking just a tad, but we're here right now and it's going to be a good one. So hopefully it's worth the wait. Let's go ahead and get right into it. I want to do half of this video sort of on the computer looking up some brands, and then the other half I'm going to be showcasing some pieces that are actually in my wardrobe from some brands. So let's go ahead and do that. So the first brand right here, and bear with me because we're kind of exploring these brands together. I'm not a pro on any of these brands. I don't know everything about them. I simply have, they've caught my eye and, want to share that excitement with you. But the first one is Hamcus. Hamcus. If you're not familiar with this brand, you definitely should check it out. It's very military inspired, post-apocalyptic. Yeah, honestly, it's like a very, very, very crazy brand. Very, I guess avant-garde, but also technical. Rick Owens meets Gorpcore meets... You really just have to see the pieces to understand. It is crazy. There's really nobody doing it like that. I'm looking at these items right now because I've never really searched their website, and some of the prices are not as crazy as you might think. I easily would have seen some of these pants being close to $1,000 with it being a small brand, but also crazy quality and crazy design. Bottom line, there's some items that are under $300, which I didn't expect to even see that. The colors are crazy, first of all. Some of these cuts are absolutely insane. Some of these prints, tons of pockets. I need a pair of pants from this brand. It is absolutely insane. Nothing I've ever seen before. Frankly, I'm surprised this brand has not gotten more recognition and attention already. I've definitely seen it on Instagram, just looking. They're doing some really cool stuff. The next one is going to be a brand called And Austin. If you are a throwing fits lover, you probably have heard them talk about this brand before. And I don't think they've been around for too long. For some reason, I think they started, it looks like they started in 2020. So very new brand, but very good stuff. It sort of gives me a little bit of Our Legacy vibes mixed with, I don't know, I see a little Studio Nicholson. It's casual stuff, but really top of the line quality, kind of the best version of minimalist explore core, kind of a hybrid, I guess. They have some very nice looking carpenter pants, and then they also have these overshirts, these jackets, some camp collar type button ups. The prints are very simple, but they're clean. The lookbooks are very clean, nothing super crazy. Maybe the items are simple in nature, but they're kind of elevating them and really just doing it right. And I feel that's how I feel about And Austin. The styling of these items is just really great as well. Cool to see. Hopefully you guys enjoy it as well if you're into sort of those Our Legacy, Acne Studios, Studio Nicholson type brands. Let's move on. Let's kind of switch it up a little bit and get into some jewelry, because I really like jewelry. If you didn't see my last video where I did my entire jewelry collection, which didn't do super hot. Maybe you guys just don't like jewelry. I do. I'm not wearing any of it right now because it's late night filming tonight, but I really like jewelry. But this is a brand called Chinteo. I think I've talked about them before. It's always good for a little refresher. They sell their items on Essence. It was founded in 2009. It's an eponymous label. It's based out of England. It's artisan jewelry, basically. It's very heavyweight. One of my friends, Frankie, shout out Frank, he just came down to Atlanta to see me. He has a piece from them, and it is crazy. It is super duper heavier weight than any of the rings that I currently have. and it's just beautiful. A lot of it is oxidized, so it starts out darker, and then the more you wear it, it slowly gets shinier, which is a super cool detail. I don't know, again, it's just very rugged. It has sort of an unfinished look to it. It's good stuff. It's very, very good stuff, especially if you have sort of that archivey type wardrobe. I feel like it really meshes with that. But even if you don't, it's just great, simplistic, everyday jewelry that you can get a lot of wear out of. You know, the prices aren't that bad considering. They do go on sale on the Essence sale as well. But to give you an idea, most of the rings are in like the $200 to $300 range. There's one as low as $125 for just a very simple one. But jewelry is expensive. Jewelry is very, very expensive. High-end jewelry can be thousands. So it is what it is. There is cheap jewelry out there, but there's something to be said about this stuff, so shout out them. Anyways, we're going to move on to the next one, and that is going to be Arnard Mar Johnson. I think that's how you say it. Similarly to Hamkiss, I feel like a lot of this sort of has that, I don't want to call it gorp because I feel like calling it gorp would just be ridiculous, but it's got a very technical feel. It's got a very like workwear components, but also just very, I don't know, it's hard to describe, but there's some very, very beautiful pieces. I really like some of this fleece stuff. Lots of like paneling on some of these items, and I don't know, the sets are really cool. I'm a big fan. The next one is Scott Fraser. Just take a sip of this limeade right here. Love limeade. They have some really cool stuff though. It's sort of like a classic menswear type style. Updates to it, and those updates are very nice. For example, they kind of have these like wide leg pleated trousers going on. They have a lot of these like knit shirts. It sort of has that like preppy vibe to it, which is cool. Not necessarily my style, but there is like some stuff that kind of has like vintage inspiration. There's one I'm looking at right here that's like red panely looking thing. I do want to get to the next one though, because I think this next one kind of has a similar vibe to it, but is a little bit more my style. I don't want to say better, but it's more my style, and that's going to be Ernest W. Baker, which their stuff is really, really cool. I'm not going to lie. I'm going to look at their autumn winter 2022 collection on their website, and for one, their styling is crazy, and it's actually not that similar to that last brand. I kind of lied. It's way nicer than that. I sort of see some SLP type like resemblances, but it's not nearly as slim of a silhouette. A lot of really, really cool patterns, a lot of really cool outerwear. I don't know, a lot of pieces that I feel like it could be worn in a lot of different ways, and it sort of has its own unique vibe to it without being like super flashy either. It's the type of pieces where like you'd probably get a million compliments about the piece, but nobody would be able to guess what you're actually wearing until you tell them. It's that type of thing. Let's go ahead and move on to the next one, which is Conor Mcknight. Speaking of brands that I would totally wear the pieces or whatever, Conor Mcknight has some super cool stuff. I first learned about this brand from Nolan, sweet Nolan, who was wearing a button-up, I believe, from them. And it just kind of caught my eye. It was very interesting, yet sort of simplistic. I don't know. A lot of their stuff's just like super cool. I can't lie. I haven't looked that deep into a lot of their stuff. So me browsing their website right now is just as fun for me as it is for you. I really have not looked into that much of this stuff. It's pretty sick, you know. If I had $800 to just throw at a sweater, I'd consider it. So let's get on to the last one that I'm looking up, which is Zara. Just kidding. It's Stefan Cook. Stefan Cook is what I'm looking up. And if you aren't familiar with Stefan Cook, you might be familiar with the little cutout sweaters that they did. Super sick. I really like those. Yeah, their stuff's just cool in general. I feel like, again, it sort of has that Our Legacy vibe. Even some of their like loafers and mules I'm looking at look very, very similar. But a lot of their stuff is really cool. I like this P code that they have, except it's $2,300. I just keep showing you more and more expensive. I'm sorry. But they have super cool stuff. So definitely worth checking them out. That is all I have for this lovely segment, but I want to finish up the low-key brands with stuff that I have that you guys deserve to look at and see. And So let's do it. So how should I do this? Nice.
Yeah, let me adjust this.
Starting off, I have this beautiful Libero jacket. They are based out of Canada. This is their Libero Le Mans jacket. Fancy or whatever. It is this beautiful green wool. It's got this leather patch. Shout out Adam. He is a great fella. Has definitely helped me tons in my little fashion journey or whatever. He's just been a great sort of mentor for me. And this piece is lovely. It's definitely a brand that I can get behind. The pieces are super high quality. And I just like green, man. Green's like one of my favorite colors, and this one fits me super well. These are my most recent pickups from Older Brother. I've talked about Older Brother on my channel before. They do a lot of like sustainable products, a lot of natural dyes, recycled materials, all that good stuff. They're based out of LA. Really good cuts on a lot of their garments. So I have these jorts right here, which obviously jorts have kind of picked up surprisingly, just randomly, and people are wearing them again. And I really like these ones. They have a little bit of a longer length on me. Not really as much so on the model, but I don't know. On the model, they looked kind of skinny as well, which I was a little worried about. But I really quite like how these fit on me. It has this little patch right here, and I don't know. A lot of their stuff has sort of the big buttons, which I think is kind of cute. I don't know. It's sweet. It's charming. I don't know. But they also sent me this button up. It is a Western sort of pearly snap button up. Love the soft blue. It's all naturally dyed. It's a very lightweight, breathable material. I'm all for like the lightweight, breathable sort of button ups this spring, summer. I think they're cool for layering. It's really hard to make interesting outfits as a dude unless you're wearing stuff that's sort of out of the box, like interesting button ups, sort of mesh shirts, random textures. You kind of got to get creative, so I think this is good for that. Next up, this is what I got today, actually. It is from a homie that I recently met and have sort of became friends with. I met him at an event, and then I was like looking later on my phone, and I saw like a random photo of him. I went on his profile, and I saw these pants that he made, and I was like, what the hell? Like, these are crazy. And they're made in the US. He told me he got them made like in a city near where we're at, and they went crazy on these. Like, these are like super nice. It's like very reminiscent of like a vintage flare, super long length. They're kind of like exaggerated. It's amazing, like this houndstooth material. They're not lined, which I think lining them would have been a cool touch, but it also would have made them super expensive. And frankly, I think for the spring, summer, it's probably better that they're not lined. But nevertheless, really, really amazing pant. He really did a good job, and it's one of his first things that I think he's ever like put out. So he really took his time with this. He told me it took him like nearly a year to get these to where he wanted to. There's really something to be said for that, and I really appreciate it. So shout out. It's called Milo Supply. I guess I haven't mentioned that yet. Milo Supply is the brand name, and Owen is his name. So shout out Owen and shout out Milo. Next up, if you watch YouTube, if you watch fashion YouTube, you have probably seen this jacket, and you are probably familiar with Sanjeev. His brand is top notch. Let me tell you, the Riri zipper on this is beautiful. I don't think I've shown this on this channel yet, but I could be wrong. But I really, really love this checkerboard print. I love the color of it. He really kind of went all out on this. It's got a very plush material to it, a nice weight. It's got a cool fit to it. I love that it has Riri zippers on the pocket as well. It's lined with a very soft material. Like, it's just a 10 out of 10. It's amazing. Yeah, it's good. It's very good. Shout out Sanjeev. And shout out Owen Hyatt as well while I'm at it. I'm wearing this Somar jacket as we speak. I know I've talked about Somar a lot already, and I've shown, I think, pretty much all the pieces that he's gifted me on this channel already. Definitely gotta mention him in the video somewhere. So shout out Owen. You guys have seen these if you follow me on TikTok or Instagram, and if you don't, Mark_Boutilier, MARK_BOUTILIER is the username for both of those. Definitely go and give your boy a follow. But these are some mesh shirts. They're like military shirts, undershirts, Belgium military undershirts from a brand called Factors. They source these, which this is by no means the only products they have. They're actually like really known for their tailoring. The guy who started the brand, Matt, He used to work at Sid Mashburn, which is a like tailoring shop based out of Atlanta, who is like pretty like renowned for their stuff. He moved on and did Factors, which is sort of like a spin off of classic menswear, and it's way more sort of unique. It's a lot more like, there's more flair to it, there's more edge, there's more spice. I just like it a lot more. I think it's super cool. I'm like super fascinated every time I go in there, and it's local. It's in Little 5 Points area. You can make an appointment and go check out the stuff for yourself, but it's amazing. And I went and checked it out, so we'll flip to that. Hey everybody, so we're in Little 5 Points right now. I just parked. I'm about to get out and go into the Factors office space, or like studio space, whatever you want to call it. If I sound like I have a lisp right now, it's because I got my Invisalign in. Shout out Invisalign. Not sponsored. That would have been nice to get sponsored, you know, before paying for this. But anyways, let's go ahead and do that right now. So But again, thank you so much, Matt. It was honestly, it's always cool going in that store because there's just so much to sort of learn from these types of people. The products are even more amazing in hand, and even more amazing when you sort of get to know the people behind it. So it's always cool. But I wanted to sort of share these mesh shirts more. I cut this one. It's this beautiful cream color. It's just such a fun layering piece. It's such a good spring summer sort of thing. And for $60, I feel like I bought like some basic t-shirts for $60. So something like this, it's just super interesting. And then they do with this one as well, where they actually dye that one right over there, but in like a black. I didn't cut this one so you can see how long it is, but I think the length is kind of cool. You can sort of fold it up. You can sort of have it tucked underneath, or sort of coming out underneath from like a hoodie or sweatshirt, which I think also adds sort of like a textured, a dimension of texture, I guess. And it's just cool. I don't know. It's fun to play around with these things. It's fun to experiment with style, and there's a lot of times where you can't find pieces that allow you to really truly experiment. So finding something like this has challenged me in a way that ultimately has bettered my style and made me more comfortable in more stuff. So shout out Factors for that. And I do have another pair of pants that are on the way from them. It's one of their Ben Davis pants that they alter to you, which I am super psyched on. I don't know if they're going to make this video or not because you have to wait 2 weeks for them. But if they do, you'll see them. I got them. This goes to show how long we've been putting off this video, but great fitting pair of pants. Thanks Factors.
Wait here, hold it. Hold it. Actually, mine are in the dirty laundry. I was also sold on a pair of pants, except these didn't take 2 weeks. They just fit, but they got a big cuff, so we might get it chopped.
That's all the pieces. That's all I have for you. I really appreciate it once again. If you made it this far, you rock. Thank you. But with that being said, until next time, which next time will be within a week, I hope. I almost promise, but I'm not going to. Anyways, thank you guys so much. Till next time. Bye.